Hey guys, Tim Walling here with SC Legal Carry. We train people to get a CWP in the state of South Carolina. If you need a concealed weapons permit, please look us up online at sclegalcarry.com. Now, what we're going to talk about today is ammunition. And most folks would call this a bullet. It's technically not a bullet, it's a cartridge. This is ammunition. It's a combination of a few things to make the cartridge, to make the ammunition. These are bullets. Bullets are pressed into the tip of it. So let's take a look at what goes into making a cartridge or a casing, making some ammo. All right, here we go. We start with a casing. This is your casing, just an empty casing, nothing inside of it, no primer in the tip of it here, right? So they'll put this in the press, and this is actually your primer right here on the tip of my finger, and you can see it's open on this end and it is closed on this side. So this closed side would be what is on the outside of the actual casing. So they would take this and press it into this open hole. A press would just push it and seat it up in there. When it seats it in there, it is going to look like this. So there is your primer seated in the end of your casing right here for you. Next thing they do is they take gunpowder. Here's our gunpowder. So we've got some basic gunpowder here. And we put some gunpowder, so many grains of gunpowder goes inside this casing. So we got our primer, we got our casing, we got our gunpowder in it. Now here's your actual bullet. This is a 9mm, so 147 grain round, and it would go right here in the top like this. You put it in the press and you just slide this down in there to get the proper depth that you need. And now this becomes ammunition. This is your cartridge. This is your ammo, what you're going to shoot through your gun. So this is technically the bullet here. I know a lot of people get upset when you call this a bullet. They don't like that. No big deal to me. I don't care if you know what it is, where it goes in the gun, how to use it. That's all I'm really looking for. So let's take a look at the cartridges, the ammunition that we are actually going to use in the guns we're going to use during this series. So let's get a look at those. All right, let's take a quick look at what we're going to be using. So this is your basic 9mm round, right? This is 147 grain. This is a Lawman, and it's got a little flat nose on the front of it here. This would be a round nose. It's just rounded off. And these are practice ammo, okay? So these things are moving about 800 to 1,000 lineal feet per second on them. Now, all we want these things to do is to penetrate whatever we're shooting at. Now, a lot of people want to use these. They say, well, why can't I just use these standard round nose ammo, kind of your practice ammo? Why can't we just use that for home protection, personal defense? This stuff is made to actually penetrate and just pass through something. We don't care what happens to it when it hits. We're just using it to practice with. It's cheaper to buy because we're not looking for it to do a specific task. We just want it to penetrate so we know what we're hitting in your 38 and your 357. So both of these are going to shoot in our revolver. If you buy a 357 revolver that shoots 357 ammo, it will also shoot 38. If you buy a revolver that shoots 38, it will not shoot 357, okay? That's why I tell everybody, just go ahead and buy the 357 because you can shoot 38 ammo in it if you want. You can see that the 38 ammo is just a little bit shorter, just a little bit smaller coming out of it. So your 357 is usually going to be traveling a little faster and have a little more punch and knockdown power when it hits something than your 38. Of course, your 38 bigger than your 9mm. So your 38 is going to be traveling quicker and have a little more knockdown power when it hits something than this 9mm. Now, practice rounds. We're going to look for stuff like this to practice with. 130 grain. This is your 38 round nose, and it's 130 grain. These are 125 grain, so it's actually a little bit smaller bullet coming out of this 357 round, but they're moving relatively the same amount of speed. So when it comes to this, from my perspective, I'm looking for the less expensive ammo. Okay, I don't like the aluminum casing here on stuff, because it tends to split. It causes problems with firing and jams. So go ahead and buy brass, get brass, and shoot brass through your firearm, okay? Now, what are you carrying in your gun for home defense? So here is your 357 home defense round, personal defense round. See the little hole in the front here? You see the slits and the cuts here in the copper bullet that's pressed into it here. So this thing is designed that when it hits something, it is going to open up. It will expand and get larger. So it's designed to first penetrate in to what you're shooting at, the person or thing you're defending yourself against. It should penetrate in it. As it penetrates, this part right here is going to open up and expand and get larger. It's going to do a lot of damage, and it's going to lose a lot of energy. So this may come out of the back side of whoever you're defending yourself against, may come out the back side, but it's not going to have quite as much energy. So it's designed to slow down and hopefully not seriously injure or damage what is actually behind it. All right, so personal defense round and a basic round nose practice round here. Okay, so we're going to use personal defense rounds, or I'm using personal defense rounds in my carry guns and the guns I'm using at home for personal protection. Now, this is personal defense round in a 38, personal defense round in a 357. You can see the 357 round is just a little bit taller. Both of them are made to expand and open up on impact. The 38 just has a little bit of putty put inside of it so that hopefully it doesn't catch or snag on stuff to help it open up and penetrate. Sometimes when you have an opening like this, you can get leather or different stuff stuck in it, and it'll help. It will help keep it from expanding quite as big and doing what it was designed to do. So they tend to put rubber, polymer, things like that in the end of it there. Now, here's the same thing. This is a personal defense round in 9mm. Okay, so your 9mm stuff. This stuff's usually moving faster. This stuff here is usually moving around 1250, 1400 lineal feet per second. You can get this stuff designed to move 1800 lineal feet per second. So this stuff's moving out. Anything traveling faster has got more knockdown power when it hits something. All right, so that's the ammo that we're going to be using. Kind of give you an idea of what ammunition is and what you need to go out and start looking for. So get your basic round nose ammunition for practicing and shooting with. And now when you go to buy your personal defense rounds, they're going to come in smaller boxes. You can usually get double the ammunition. You can get 100 rounds here, and this stuff will be half the price or less than this. So this is 25 rounds. Go out, pick out what ammo you want, really look for the best price on it. Stick with something with brass on it, some round nose. These are kind of your little flat nose. You can see the tip is flat there on this. But get whatever you want, best price you can find to practice with as we go through this series, okay? Remember, folks, be a responsible adult. Don't push the responsibility off on a child. Buy gun locks and gun safes. Secure your guns. Till next time, folks, take care.